And when the wind moves again through the dunes, I imagine it carrying messages from faraway hearts, words spoken softly under different skies. Yet somehow they arrive here, threading themselves into my own thoughts as if they were always meant to be mine. I walk with these unseen voices like a man walks with loyal companions, feeling their presence even when the path is empty. They give me strength when my shadow grows long, and they remind me that a poet's journey is not a solitary one. It is built from the echoes of those who believe in his song. The campfire burns low in the heart of the desert night, and I sit before it, tracing the shapes of embers as they rise and vanish into the dark. Each spark is like a moment, bright, alive, beautiful, and then it disappears, yet the warmth it leaves lingers. Such is the nature of the bonds we form, the promises we keep, the dreams we dare to speak aloud. They live on even after the moment has passed, glowing quietly in the soul. I think of the riders returning from the hunt, their camels swaying gently, their falcons perched proudly on their wrists, eyes sharp even in the fading light. The hunt is not just for food or sport. It is a dance between man and nature, a lesson in patience and precision, in respect for what is taken and gratitude for what is given. The desert teaches this balance in all things, to take only what you need, to give when you can, and to never turn away the traveler who comes seeking shelter. Some nights I dream of old caravans moving like rivers of gold across the horizon, laden with spices and silk, with stories from lands so far the mind struggles to picture them. I dream of the merchants who risked everything for the chance to return home with treasures, not just of wealth but of knowledge. These men were poets in their own way, bringing back not only goods but tales that would be told around the fire for generations. I like to think that I too am a kind of traveler, bringing back the treasures I find in my heart and laying them at the feet of those willing to listen. The horse neighs in the quiet, a reminder of the races that stir my blood. There is nothing like the thunder of hooves across the sand, the blur of speed, the bond between rider and steed that goes beyond words. It is trust in its purest form, trust that the horse will run its heart out for you, and trust that you will guide it true. In those moments, there is no past and no future, only the rush of now, the wind in your face, and the knowledge that you are alive. And in the still moments after, when the crowd's roar fades into the hum of the desert, I feel a deeper kind of victory, not in winning, but in being part of something timeless. Horses have run these lands for centuries, and they will run long after we are gone. To ride among them is to step into a river that flows beyond the span of any one life, a river that carries the pride and history of our people. Beneath the endless horizon where the desert breathes in silence and the sun spills its molten gold across the dunes, I walk with my shadow stretching long beside me, carrying the whispers of ancient winds and the scent of a land that remembers every step of its sons. The falcon soars above my head, its wings cutting through the blue like the sharp edge of destiny, and I feel the pulse of this soil beneath my feet, the heartbeat of my homeland, the rhythm of 1,000 stories written in the sand before I was born. The palm trees sway in a patient dance, their fronds whispering secrets to the sky, secrets of caravans that came and went, of poets who sang under the moon's gentle watch, of warriors whose oaths were stronger than steel. I carry their words in my heart, and they rise to my lips like a tide that will not be held back. For a poet is not a poet if he cannot speak the soul of his people. I speak of loyalty, that unbreakable bond between a man and his land, between a leader and his people, between a heart and the promise it swore under the stars. I speak of friendship that is tested by distance, by storms, by the long road that wears out the soles of your sandals but never the depth of your trust. I speak of love that is both fierce and tender, love that stands like a tent in the storm, love that shelters and guides even when the world beyond is a roaring sea of uncertainty. O desert, you are my first teacher. You taught me patience when the well ran dry, courage when the night was long and the wolves sang, generosity when the traveler came with dust in his beard and hunger in his eyes. You taught me to look not at what I lack but at what I carry inside me, to measure wealth not in gold but in honor, to count time not in hours but in the moments when the heart knows it is alive. I remember the first time I rode across your back, my hands clinging to the reins, the camel swaying beneath me like a ship in a gentle sea. My father's voice was beside me, telling me, "Look far, my son, for the horizon is not the end. It is the beginning. Do not fear the distance, for every step forward carries you toward your fate." Those words stayed with me like the cool shade of an oasis, and even now, when the journey seems endless, I remember that the horizon only grows when you chase it. In the stillness of dawn, when the first light touches the dunes, I feel the quiet pride of my ancestors in the air. They walked before me, their footprints swallowed by the wind, yet I follow them still. They hunted with falcons, they raced with horses, they sat around fires and let their voices rise into poetry so pure it could make the moon stop to listen. I am their son, and my duty is to carry their legacy forward, not in chains of the past but in wings of the present, so the future may rise on their wisdom. The city glitters now with glass and steel, with towers that reach for the clouds, yet in my heart the desert still rules.